What's up? What's up, everybody? End of season RTA balance patch. I was curious if they were going to actually do one at the end of the season because SWC is coming up. I was like, are they going to do one now that doesn't impact anything that people are really using in SWC? Or are they going to wait till after SWC to actually do one? But no, they are indeed doing one now and not really impacting much of SWC with the units they've chose. And to kick it off, they're balancing things that actually need to get balanced. They're balancing the bad monsters that people are like asking to get balanced. They're actually balancing those monsters. Who's working come to us? We get auto farming, we get quality of life improvements, we get artifacts, we get new dungeons, we get B12. Who's working come to us this year that they seem to just hire? I don't what's going on in come to us where they're actually doing things that people want. That's a new direction for them as a company. Maybe I have no idea. I don't even know what to expect with this company anymore. They're like, yeah, you know what we should do? We should do things the players want. Oh, you're not gonna throw me out the window. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, 2020. All right. Anyway, monster balancing patch. Let's take a look. There's all things that need to be balanced. It's crazy. I did take a look at specifically what is in here. I just took a brief overview of what units, and there's a lot of things they need to give out. Let's see if they're good or not. Let's see if they're like actually things that we want. Light Phoenix. A lot of people complain about the Light Phoenix needs a buff. Decreased damage by 15%. I'm sure everyone's very excited about that. Effect change. Weakens defense if successfully removed the beneficial effects for one turn. Is now weakens defense for one turn. No conditions required. I think this is basically just what they needed. It's as simple as that. Weakens defense, no conditions required. Now he's as good as Gemini. No, now this is like exactly what they needed. And then we'll see if it continues to get used. Should it be 2 turns? I kind of feel like it should be 2 turns, but at least this is a start. This is what people requested. This is what people. Why does it need to have a beneficial effect specifically removed to weaken defense? Now it's just everything. I think he still has low base speed, right? Maybe that could be something for the future, or a 2-turn defense break or something, right? Because I know he's still usable already before the buff, but this is definitely one of the biggest complaints with Light Phoenix owners. Okay, Dark Phoenix, which in my opinion, you know what? There's a lot of stuff on the worst, the monsters that need to be buffed. The ones that you guys voted for in the video. I would like to think that helped, but probably didn't. They probably didn't even see it. They probably just saw like some kind of forum message board or whatever, people complaining about it. Anyway, Dark Phoenix Fiery Path. I'm just saying that they're like, I feel like they're doing a really good job lately of listening to the community. I'll give them credit when they deserve credit, and I feel like they deserve credit. Dark Phoenix Fiery Path is one of the worst LD5s. Leaves a branding effect for 3 turns, 50% chance when you attack an enemy. When you defeat an enemy during your turn, the enemy can't be revived. And the cooldown time of Dark Nova will be decreased by 1 turn. Now, leaves a branding effect, weakens defense. When you attack an enemy, when you defeat an enemy, can't be revived during the battle. So what does he just do? He just does a defense break now too, which is nice. I don't know that that's specifically what he needed to be super meta, but it's I think it's still work in progress. I think he still needs more. I think needs a work in progress. But at least they're acknowledging that he needs something, right? Wind Phoenix Tempest is now passive, decreased damage by 24. Oh. Change to a passive skill before attacks all enemies with Violent Storm. Becomes instantly reusable if an enemy dies. Increase the attack bar by 20% for each defeated enemy. Change to attacks all enemies with Violent Storm once more after you attack the enemy on your turn. Cooldown time of Tempest will reset if an enemy dies from your attack. So now he's got 2 skills and a passive. So you only use first skill or second skill, and then you snipe something, and then you do AoE damage after that. Snipe, and then AoE damage. He's kind of more Pungbecky now, right? He's similar to Pungbeck, but it still does damage. But that second skill does a lot. The second skill does a lot more damage than the third skill per unit. So he would do bigger snipe. I don't know that makes him. I don't know if that's what he needed. I don't know that that's necessarily what he needed, though. We'll play around with it. I don't know that that's... But at least they're acknowledging some of these things that people want to get buffed. Yes, that's my alarm, because I was supposed to have woken up now. Lightning Emperor. Lightning Emperor. Okay. Is this actually going to make him relevant? I'm really curious because this is like this was the textbook worst LD5 in the game. Let's take a look. If an ally is attacked by an enemy, uses one of your knowledge to heal the ally by 35% of the damage received. If you have 5 knowledge, the ally will be healed by 70% of the damage received. Now, if an ally is attacked, use one of your knowledge to recover the attacked target's HP by 20% from the attack target's max HP. You 5 knowledge recovers the attack. Is that what he? Well, it's just different. It's just changing differently, but he still does basically the same thing. Yeah, I don't know that makes him... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if that makes him super OP. I don't think it does. I think he's still... They're acknowledging that he needs to be changed. And then probably the next balance patch, they'll tweak him some more. They'll be like, oh, people didn't care? Okay, well, we'll tweak him some more. Because this is kind of the Rakan situation. Rakan was in, like, every balance patch. Like, every time there's a balance patch. This is years ago. They kept changing him until the community was eventually happy with him. So anyway, Lightning Emperor, he's at least on the table, and they're gonna, I'm sure, keep tweaking him. Maybe same thing with the Phoenixes. They're making little changes, seeing if it impacts anything, making more little changes, see. But at least, even though these aren't like crazy buffs, at least they're on the table, and Comptos will continue to tweak them a little bit here and there moving forward, because sometimes they don't know if things are going to be super impactful. Little change to Han made him super impactful, made him actually a good unit, right? So they don't know if it's going to be little tweaks to make a unit good or big tweaks. They'd rather do little tweaks and see, and then change it again a couple months later, right? Vampire Awakened, Dark Vampire, Vampire Bat, 50% is now 75% chance to remove beneficial effect. I didn't even test him out after the last balance patch. I didn't even get a chance to test him out. I'm sure that Dark Vampire owners are happy about that. Another Dark Vampire, Feast of Blood passive absorbs the attack bar by 15 to 20%. So just little tweaks added. I think the Dark Vampire, I would have been happy as a Dark Vampire owner in the last patch with the buffs of like the strip beneficial effects and absorb attack gauge. So I would have been happy with that. But now just maybe he needed more of an activation rate. Again, I didn't play with him specifically, so it's entirely possible he could have needed more activation rate or more absorb attack gauge to really be where he needed to be. But that's nice. Dark Hell Lady, another one. People complain all the time she needs to be buffed. Let's see. Summon Perpetrator, which is her revive skill, is now decreased cooldown by 1 turn. You know what? I should have tried to make this bigger. It's kind of too late now, but I should have tried to make this bigger. Decreased cooldown by 1 turn is now... decreased cooldown by 1 turn. If an ally is revived with 30% HP and able to use all skills, the revived ally is also granted 1 turn of invincibility. You know what? I'm going to actually change this so that you guys can see it better. I think this is better. I wanted to make sure you guys were able to see it as I was going through it, and I didn't realize that at first. Like I said, I was supposed to wake up in the middle of this video, so still a little bit asleep. I wanted to make sure you guys could see it very well. Where are we? Dark Hell Lady, Summon Perpetrator. Decrease cooldown by 1 turn. Before, if an ally is revived with 30% HP and able to use all skills, the revived ally is also granted 1 turn of invincibility. It now revives all dead allies with 30% HP and skills are available, and all skills are available to use. Makes the revived allies invincible for 1 turn. That's crazy. That's crazy, but is this actually what she needed? Because this is, here's the thing right here. This is an you make her super tanky. This is an anti-cleave unit. Like, you get Lucianed, you put her on Nemesis, kind of like how Lydia works. She steals a turn. Nemesis boosts up, you have to make her fast, you have to make her tanky. Boosts up her attack gauge, right? Fast tanky, also good resistance. Just in case they bring other things, they increase cooldowns, and defense breaks and stuff. Fast tanky, good resistance. Have her on Nemesis for arena defense. This is going to make a difference to arena defenses. Trying to use her, because now everything comes back full skills and invincibility. AoE. So this is definitely an arena defense unit. Now, it was usable on arena defense before, but this is kind of a different thing. She's a Nemesis unit now. She is a Nemesis arena defense unit. So, and she's much more viable. I don't know if this is specifically that's kind of nasty for RTA though. Man, at first I was thinking like, I don't know if this is what people that have the Dark Hell Lady want, because you know, it's not a proactive skill where like they can use it at the beginning of the match even if there's nothing dead. It's a specific anti-cleave thing. But you could be losing the match. She's the last one on the field, and she comes and brings everyone back with invincibility and all their skills. Like, this is just this is so nasty. This is so nasty. I think that the Dark Hell Lady owners wanted something proactive where even if she doesn't need to revive anything, it's still viable. But this is so nasty. Like, this changes the turnaround comeback material for fights. This is like, she's like the comeback queen now. It seems really crazy. It seems like we're gonna see some really crazy gameplay with people picking her and then just they're losing really badly, and then it changes to, oh my god, they're winning. Like, really winning. So anyway, Dark Hell Lady, at first, I am in two ways about that. She seems very OP. Can't really be proactive with her, but in the situations that she's going to be used in, she could be very OP. That's a cool one. That seems good. That seems really nice. But again, we'll see it in action, right? Wind Hell Lady, capture, effect changes, removes one beneficial effect around the... Now steals. That's even better. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Okay, steals one beneficial effect. A lot of times she cycles out of her like invincibility immunity if it's, or her immunity rather. Not really used too much with invincibility, but like a lot of times Fran and Ethna use together, and then she cycles with skill 2, cycles out of her immunity a lot, and then if someone picks a Fire Lich, you know, you just cut in and CC, right? So this time steals beneficial effect. That's really nice. That's really nice. Okay. I don't think she needed a buff, honestly, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Water Oracle Daydream puts all enemies to sleep for one turn, is now 100% chance. That's pretty nasty too. I think I know I'm the only Praha. Wait. No, Childish did a Praha video this week, didn't he? So there's two Praha owners that actually like Praha and are happy with Praha. I think Shuffles also likes Praha, if I recall correctly. I like Praha. I know she's not super meta. I don't know that this specifically makes her meta, but it's nice. It's welcome buff to Water Oracle. I think that other things needed it more, like some of these LDs needed it more. But let's take a look at the rest of them. Unicorn, Fire Unicorn, Swaying Flame. Effect change, absorb the attack bar by 10%. Is now absorbed the attack bar by 50%. Divided equally from the enemies that are alive. This is interesting because I don't have her, but I have played with her on a few different accounts of like friends that are like, oh, play around with whatever. I'm on the account of the Fire Pony, and I'm like, I want to play with that because I haven't played. And one of the drawbacks to the Fire Pony is that she's really potentially nasty when the enemy is like there's 4 enemies alive, and they don't have immunity, right? But as soon as there's 1 or 2 enemies alive, she's not quite as nasty. Diana's still nasty, but Fire Unicorn's not quite as nasty. So this one is now divided by the enemies that are alive. So she's better at soloing. She's better when there are less enemies on the field. She's actually usable. So that's kind of nice. Still, immunity shuts her down, but I think that's definitely a change that would potentially make her used more, because I think she's kind of underrated. And that's one of the reasons that she was underrated, is because as soon as there's less enemies on the field, she's less strong. So Art Master, Water Art Master, definitely something people have wanted to get buffed. And I tell you guys, I'm like, hey man, you don't know what's gonna get buffed coming in the future. You don't know what's gonna get buffed coming in the future. Art of Blank Space, passive when enemies remove beneficial effects of all allies. Attack bar with removed beneficial effects will be attack bar of the ally with removed beneficial effects. Wait. When enemies remove beneficial effects of allies, attack... Didn't they just change this completely? Wait. They changed this completely. This is not even a buff. This is a complete change. Hold on. Let's take a look at him, because I want to take a look at him. Let's see. No, that's M. Bison. Water Art Master. Hey gang. Art of Blank Space. When enemies remove harmful effects... Yeah, this is totally different. When enemies remove harmful effects, the effects that you put on them, attack bar of all allies increased by 25%, right? So when enemies, like when they use Veladril, when they use something like that, when they use Anivel, remove their beneficial, their harmful effects, your team gets a turn. Now, Now, totally different unit. When enemies remove beneficial effects of allies, if you're using a Wusa, if you're using a Veldril on your team, and the enemy brings in a stripper, the attack bar of the ally with removed beneficial effects will be increased by 25%. Here's another thing. This is like a counter control cleave kind of thing. When enemies remove beneficial effects of allies, right? So let's say the enemy is using a Triton. Again, this is actually impactful, man. Against certain comps in RTA, this is actually impactful. Remove beneficial effects of allies. Let's say you have all will runes. The enemy brings in a Triton, strips you, attack gauge pushback, right? Attack bar with the ally with removed beneficial effects increased by 25%. So attack gauge pushback, but then your team gets their attack gauge pushed right back up again because, hey gang, and then he can come in and he can, maybe he's on despair, he strips and glancing hits. That's actually really nice. He's got 102 speed. It's not anything too crazy, but that's actually, that's definitely more usable. I feel that that's definitely more usable for me. Before he was the thing that you used with Gani Hathor, now that he's the thing that you use as a counter to the enemy trying to Chiwu and Triton you and things like that, right? So, yeah, he's a different unit now. He's getting used in a different place now. So, just keep in mind if you have a Water Art Master, he's used differently, used in a different comp in a different way now. It seems very similar, but it's not. It's not the same skill. Art Master, Wind Art Master, seriously, I like the Wind Art Master. Maybe there's a few of us. There's a few of us that are out there that are like, Wind Art Master is fine. Totally fine using him. When enemies remove, no, that's the other one. Decrease attack bar of all enemies. Okay, just decrease attack bar of all enemies by 50 is now 75%. That's a nice buff. That's a nice buff. He's not. He didn't need anything too crazy. Yeah, I'll take the buffs to him. He's not like super insane OP, ridiculous, needs a nerf, but Fire Demon. But yeah, it's nice. Because he increases cooldowns when the enemy's attack gauge is reduced to 0. So that 75% is actually going to be impactful to increase cooldowns. So you're definitely going to see he's more viable. Fire Demon, because it's a triple hit, if I recall correctly. Fire Demon, Flames of Hell, before always perform attack, attribute advantage on all enemies, inflicts a number of continuous damage proportional to the amount of damage dealt, is now always perform an attack, has an attribute advantage on all enemies. Having a hard time talking, aren't I? Blocks all enemies, boss excluded from removing harmful effects for... Blocks all enemies from removing harmful effects from one turn, from removing them. Continuous damage can't be resisted by the number of proportional to damage dealt for 2 turns. Harmful effect removal. That's a new effect. They're giving him a brand new buff, like a brand new effect, like a little icon. He's gonna have a new icon there. All harmful effects cannot be removed while the harmful effect removal block is on. So you can't like Veladril against it or anything. When using the skills that remove harmful effects, or Annabelle or anything like that. Harmful effect removal block will be removed first if a monster has multiple harmful effects. Isn't he a Dragon's Beat 12 god now? At the very least. Harmful effects cannot be removed while harmful effect removal block is on. Skills to remove harmful effects. Harmful effect removal will be removed first. The monster has multiple. Okay, I'm gonna have to see this, but doesn't this make him a Dragon's Beat 12, like just easy mode? Because the right tower removes harmful effects at the boss. If he's got this new, we want to make sure that I wake up. If he's got this remove harmful effect, wait, does it say boss excluded? No, it doesn't say boss excluded. Isn't he a Dragon's Beat, just instantly a Dragon's Beat 12, like easy Dragon's Beat 12 god? Like if you have Fire Demon, he's what you use in Dragon's Beat 12, because then the boss can't get cleansed and put immunity on, because it just doesn't happen. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look at the next one. Pirate Captains, did they? Okay, the water one didn't get a buff. Fire, Wind, and Light. Those are the ones that needed buffs more than the other ones. Because Galleon's fine, Frigate's fine. Detonation shot decreases the duration of the time of the bomb installed by other enemies by 1 turn each of the bomb or the attack. Okay, so he's basically like even more of a budget Ciara. Just decreases 2-turn bomb turns to 1-turn bomb, so that he detonates the first one, and then when the rest of the team moves, they all get bombed. They all get detonated too. That's nice. They don't have to like violent proc to get detonated. They just detonate right away when they get a turn. So he's not quite Ciara, but he's more like a budget Ciara for people. Like, yeah, but he doesn't have a speed lead, so no, I don't want that. I want Ciara. Wind shoot and slash effect add increases your attack bar by 35% when the attack lands a critical hit. So he cycles. Shoot and slash is his third skill. Each attack is it? I wonder if that's each attack when the attack lands a crit, or if it's just for the one attack. Because he does a boom boom. He does 2 attacks, increase attack bar. So I don't know if that's a 35 for each attack, or no, it does say each. Increase your attack bar by each. 35% each when the attack lands. So it's a 70% cycle when the attack lands a critical hit. So he potentially is going to get a decent amount of turns. Interesting. Similar how Yen kind of gives herself more turn. He doesn't quite give himself an extra turn instantly, but 70% of the attack gauge increase is not bad. And he also absorbs the attack gauge too. So that's actually wait. What is his actual percentage of his attack gauge? Because shoot and slash. Let's take a look at the shoot and slash skill. Okay, the music is still on. It's low for me, but you guys can still hear it. Shoot and slash, for his third skill, performs a backspin slash, connects to a pirate strike on the enemy target. Pirate strike deals a powerful blow to an enemy, absorbs 30% of its attack bar. So 30% plus 70, 30% plus 35, because the third skill, maybe it's hard to follow, but 35, and then the 30 that absorbs with skill 2 as part of the 2 skills in one. He's absorbing 100% attack bar, so it's potentially nasty. So we'll see. That's one that that would be interested to see, but I already have him built, so I could just test him out myself. Light disarm, increased damage by 6%. Hooray! Death Knight, all deadly blow attack will always land a crushing hit. You guys are always curious about what crushing hits are, or not always curious, but a lot of people have been asking me the past month, what's a crushing hit, Bagel? What is that? I don't know what that is. Wait, a crushing hit? Did they mean something else? Like, no, they mean crushing hit. Is that a thing? Yes, it's a thing. Where have you been? Normal hit. Well, glancing hit, normal hit, crushing hit, critical hit. Crushing is not as good as a critical hit, but it's still better than a normal hit, right? So, yeah, crushing hit has been a thing for years. You guys don't pay a lot of attention. Well, some of you do. Some of you are like, yeah, I knew what crushing hit was for the whole time. But there's some people that never knew what a crushing hit was. So, Death Knight, Fire, Wind, Light, Deadly Wave, increased damage by 25%. That's their AoE. I believe that's also based on their attack power, whereas the units are generally based on their HP. Let me see if that's correct. Oh no, damage proportion to your HP. I had that the opposite way. I was thinking of the light one because he does damage based on his attack power, and then the second skill is based on his HP. So it's like, do you build him as a bruiser? You build him as a what? So, Deadly Wave, damage increased by 25%. Water Dark, check and destroy, decreased cooltime by 1 turn. That's their, check and destroy is a defense break, and an attack power break is their skill 2 for the Water and the Dark one. So that's not bad. Water Death Knight, decline is actually 5 turns now. That's not bad. Doesn't have quite as high base HP, base stats, base speed, things like that. But it is a cleanse and immunity for 2 turns, and it is endure, full team endure. So that's 2 decent buffs on the Fwatter. What is a Fwatter Death Knight? On the Fwatter Death Knight. I kind of like the Fwatter Death Knight. I use him every so often. I know I'm the only one, but yeah. Extortion, effect that absorbs enemy's attack bar by 30% for the Fire Death Knight. That's the one that does damage based on HP. That's kind of like Molong and Ikari's, similar to that, but it's less damage though. It's less damage. So that's why you don't see him as much. Death Knight, Wind Death Knight, but I wonder if that makes him more viable. I think the more damage would make him more viable rather than the absorbed attack bar. Wind Death Knight, supply effect added when the ally is revived, recovers the HP of all allies by 15% for 1 turn. Okay. Light Death Knight trade. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot. The Light Death Knight increases shield amount by 50%. Now skill changed. Oh no, that is increased shield amount by 50%. And then also it's changing a skill of before attacks an enemy revives a monster with 30% HP if the enemy is eliminated by this tech or there is no revivable ally on the field. Let me try that again. If there is no revivable ally on the field, all allies receive a damage-absorbing shield for 2 turns. Amount of absorption differs according to your monster's level. Now change the HP ratio of the enemy target. Boss excluded creates a shield which proportion to your level of ally. Wait, what? Changes the HP ratio with the enemy target. Oh, you know what? This could be good as a counter cleave kind of thing. Right? So let's say you get attacked. Let's assume Nemesis runes, right? You get attacked, he doesn't quite die, he steals a turn, switches HP ratio with the enemy target, and creates a shield to absorb damage. It's kind of like Harmonious style skills, so that's kind of interesting. Also, he has a speed lead. Is it a global speed lead? Yeah, speed lead of 19%. Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. But it's still he's an attack type unit. He does HP based damage on, yeah, skill 2. That's the one I was thinking of. He does the HP based damage on skill 2. Water Cobalt Bomber, Ice Bomb, attack always lands a crushing hit. Okay, so all the Cobalt Bombers are just crushing hits, regardless of attribute relation. Water Phantom Thief, Crime Alert, increased damage by 190%. 190% damage buff. They were like, oh, he does no damage. Give him 190% more damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. 190% damage increase. That's a lot. Okay, we're gonna have to test him out. Phantom Thief, Illusion Magic. Oh my goodness, decreased cooldown. That's not what he needed. Grants the HP recovery effect on the allied target for 2 turns. I don't know if that's what he needed. Light and Water Arrest. Attack will always land a critical crushing hit, increased damage by 167%. 167%. They were like, this skill is doo-doo. Let's buff it. At least they're buffing the things that need to get buffed. I wish it did something. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage buff though. That's a big. Those increased damage by, because a lot of times like 8% more damage. This guy, they're like, oh, he sucks. Okay, 190% damage. Let's just go all. Go all in. 167% damage. Oh my god. Epicon Priest, all absorb mana, recovers HP by 30% and the damage. So definitely these Phantom Thieves gonna be something to take a look at. That's a lot. That's a huge damage buff. I don't know if it makes them meta, but huge damage buff. Also, I think that light Phantom Thief, that's not what he needed, right? He's a support unit anyway. You don't even build. That's not gonna make the light Phantom Thief anything. But at least they are like saying, oh, he needs a buff. He needs a change. We need to start working on him. Epicon Priest recovers HP by 30% of the damage dealt. Is now recovers HP by 50% of the damage dealt. Okay. Water Fire Light Fill. They have kind of not hung in there with the meta. Water Fire Light Fill, skill 2, recovers HP of 2 allies with the lowest HP by 25 and 15. Is now recovers HP of the allied target by 25%. Recovers HP of all allies excluding the target by 15%. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see, the other ones have things too. Recovery amount increased by 5 to 10% per harmful effect granted on the allies for the Wind and Dark for block flow, which is a cleanse, absorb the cleanse, prolong the time of the beneficial effects and decrease the time of harmful effects. For the skill 2 is now extra recovery. And Soul Revival with Wind Epicon Priest is now a nice 3-star unit, is now 7 turns. This may make it better for Dimension Predator. So this may be a buff that they've noticed, like Epicon Priests are not really that relevant, and also we need some more things for Dimension Predator. So some of these things may be, I don't think a whole lot of things are Dimension Predator based, but that might be something that they've wanted for Dimension Predator, possibly. Dark Epicon Priest, because she is a unit that can be used there. Dark Epicon Priest before recovers your HP by 100% if the enemy attack dies. Now is the completely different skill. Attacks the enemy target 3 times to inflict great damage. Attack will deal more damage according to your max HP. Also, if the enemy dies, creates a shield by the target's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. The amount of shield created cannot exceed twice your max HP. 3 times to inflict great damage. More damage according to your max HP. We'll see it. I mean, we'll see it. Triple hit based on max HP and creates a shield. So it could be good. It could be a usable unit maybe for Guild Wars, Guild Siege. Not Guild Wars, Guild Siege. We'll see. You got to kind of think about like some of these 3 and 4 stars. Like maybe it's good for Siege. Maybe some of these things get used for Siege. Possibly. Like some of the Death Knights, maybe some of the Pirate Captains, maybe. Who won the most out of... Oh, there's still more stuff. Light Death Knight, trade, skill power up, damage increased now, shield amount increased. Awakening effects of monsters changed. Phoenix Awakened Dark, is now increased accuracy by 25. Strength and Dark Nova skills. Skills strength and effect gains a turn instantly as the enemy dies. Oh, they did actually buff the Dark Phoenix a little bit more. Gains a turn instantly if the enemy dies. You snipe something, it dies, you get another turn. That's a second Dark Phoenix buff. Okay, that's a second. I mean, I understand why they didn't put, because it's an awakening effect. They didn't put it with the other ones, but still, that's would have been nice to know, like up there at the top with the rest of the Dark Phoenix stuff. Dark Phoenix, well, and then Artmaster Awakened Wind. Wind. Increased critical rate by 15% is now. Oh, we're gonna get a crit buff. Strength and Moondrawn by Clouds. Skill strength and effect decrease. Defense break. Wait a second. Which one actually is the Moondrawn by Clouds? That's a win for the Wind Artmaster owners. Moondrawn by... Oh my god! It's an AoE, remove beneficial effects, and a defense break. It's a strip and a defense break. It's a strip and a defense break. How do I say this more? It's a strip and a defense break. It's a skill 2 strip, AoE strip, and a defense break. 2-turn defense break. Why couldn't they give this to Jara? Why couldn't they give Jara a 2-turn defense break? See, not Jara. Jara owners like Jara. Sure, we did get a 2-turn defense break. The Eludia, the light one. Why couldn't the light one get a 2-turn defense break? If the Wind Artmaster is getting a 2-turn AoE defense break of skill 2, why can't the Light Phoenix get a... I'm not an owner of a Light Phoenix. I just feel like that could have been like... At least they're acknowledging that he needs a buff, but... Man, the Wind Artmaster got a little more of a buff than Jara got, right? Wouldn't that just be better? I mean, it's a wind unit, right? But still. Yeah, strip and defense break skill 2. That's big. That's really big. The Wind Artmaster is amazing now. Okay, skill errors of some monsters. That's just skill errors. And skill descriptions. That's not anything too crazy. Who is the winners of this patch? Is the real question. That's all we want to know. Who's the winners? Lightning Emperor is not the winner. It doesn't seem like it's too much different going on, but at least they're acknowledging a lot of these things. At least they're acknowledging that they need changes. Dark Hell Lady seems very interesting now. Wind Artmaster, no complaints there. Light and Dark Phoenix owners, they're gonna be happy about at least some. I feel like those are the extra turn is really kind of the big thing. Defense break brand, nuke, extra turn if it dies, can't be revived. That seems like something you'd be interested to use now, right? I feel like that's actually gonna get used. Dark Hell Lady's potentially nasty. I want to see if she's as nasty as she seems in my head. Fire Demon seems really good too. What else? I mean, some of these the 4-stars seem like they could be interesting things to play with, but the Wind Artmaster, I'm very excited for the Wind Art, because that's the one I have. Out of all these things, I don't have a lot of these LD5s. So the Wind Artmaster is the thing that I have that I play with that's getting buffed the most. And a Malaka buff, of course, like barely a Malaka buff, right? Malaka didn't need a buff anyway. Anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think that it's the best thing about this balance patch is that they're acknowledging that a lot of the units that the community says, these are not good units, we need them buffed, we need them in a balance patch, come to us is acknowledging like, yes, this needs a buff, this needs a buff, this needs a buff. Let's start to actually work on these things. So anyway, that's it for this one. Sorry that I'm late, but as you can see by the phone, I wasn't even supposed to be awake yet. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you as always in the next one.